Tough scene amidst the Lions' win Sunday in Dallas. Star edge rusher Aidan Hutchinson suffered an apparent season-ending tibia injury. Head coach Dan Campbell told reporters Hutchinson will remain in a Dallas area hospital Sunday night. In Campbell's words, Hutchinson will, quote, be down for a while. This, by all estimations, will bring to an end a season where Hutchinson ranked at the top of the league in a number of key defensive statistics.
He's in good hands right now. He's being taken care of. He'll stay back here. You know, obviously he's going to be down for a little while. And so that's tough, man. It's hard when you lose somebody like him. But we'll know a lot more after this, and obviously wish him the best.
Here's a look at some of those numbers. A massive loss for this defensive unit for the Lions. And so much of what Hutchinson had begun to be celebrated at the level it should be. He was leading the league in sacks, QB hits, and pressures despite playing one fewer game with the Lions having that Week 5 bye. They will move forward likely without Hutchinson. For more, we welcome in CBS injury expert Marty Jaramillo. Marty, this is never what we want to see. This is an unfortunate and apparent injury that was in plain sight there on the replays that we will not show again here. But tell me what you saw at that point of contact and what the next weeks, months, and possibly years could look like for Aidan Hutchinson.
Well, Joe, listen, always tough to talk about these type of stories, but Aidan Hutchinson after Week 5, our sack leader and so many other different metrics. As we speak, he is in a Dallas area hospital repairing and stabilizing the fractured tibia that we all saw on replay. The injury was gruesome, yes. So much so that the network would not replay it. Now, season ending, yes, but here is the good news. It is not career ending. And not only is this so unfortunate for this young man who folks around the league have been texting me, telling me he's a tremendous person and a tremendous human being. So our thoughts are with the team, himself, and his family. Tonight, he'll be receiving some hardware in that tibia to stabilize it, including plates and a number of screws to make sure that fracture heals. Now, what I saw was gruesome, but I knew it was not career-ending. The stabilization hardware will allow the fracture to heal in about 5 to 6 months. In about 8 to 10 months, he will be NFL ready. Why the extra time? Because of the load that lower leg, that lower shin bone, the most major weight-bearing bone of the body, of the lower leg, requires a lot more recovery and getting used to that load and push off from the position that he plays. This injury is very similar to what we saw when Jordan Travis fractured his lower leg, senior at Florida State. Had the surgery, stabilized it, recovered. Now he's a backup for the New York Jets.
When you look at Aidan Hutchinson, and you bring up a great point and what is required of that position, the load that will be bared, he's an edge bender. I mean, that range of motion when he comes off an edge is what makes him those numbers we saw on the screen. You have full confidence that with the injury and what we are going to put out in front of this young man, that range of motion will be there as well. And then beyond that, what's the next checkpoint? I know surgery is the immediate focus, but what are some of those checkpoints that Aidan Hutchinson is going to be put in front of him over these next couple months to make sure he is on pace with that timeline you laid out?
You know, Joe, it's such a great point because there are a number of different metrics, these milestones that we speak of. He'll be immobilized for the first 6 to 8 weeks. No weight at all, crutches, moving around, probably being around the team just to kind of stay around the action a little bit. And around 6 to 8 weeks, he'll start to put some weight on in a stabilization boot. And that'll add another 8 weeks or so. And then about 12 to 14 weeks, a little bit more weight, a little bit more, less assistive devices, maybe go from 2 crutches to then 1 crutch to a cane. But what's wonderful about science today and technology today and the surgeries today is the stabilization really allows these bones and these 2 ends that have to mend to heal perfectly. Here's a wonderful little, side note. Fractures heal stronger than they ever were. The bones are actually stronger than they ever were. So you've heard the adage that just sometimes you're better off breaking the ankle than you are spraining it. It's true. Sprains never heal as great as they once were, right? But fractures do. Now, you are correct. The ramp-up period, when he starts to do some jogging at around 6 to 7 months, that is when, that's when it really begins. So running a jog, how is he responding to that load? Now let's add some change of direction. How is he responding to that? 3-point stance, how is he responding to that? How is he responding to increased mileage, increased speed, and obviously the weight room? All those different metrics are these check marks that you described so perfectly. And as long as the first 8 weeks are non-eventful with his non-weight bearing, allowing the initial bone healing to be laid down, I fully expect him, once again, 8 to 10 months to be back, which puts us very close to camp July or so.
That is something we will certainly have in our sights. It is now a long road ahead for Aidan Hutchinson, who had amassed some really nice football early in this season. The task becomes different now with the healing of that lower leg. Marty Jaramillo, we appreciate you for stopping by here with all the insight here on the injury front. Unfortunate, the news handed down here to Aidan Hutchinson and the Detroit Lions. Another way to frame it here, Hutchinson 7.5 sacks in the first 5 games of a year, and the injury occurring at what will be his final sack of this season. Unfettered to Dak Prescott, some friendly fire there with a teammate. Lower leg making contact with his, and the season now an end for Aidan Hutchinson.